Hi, I'm just an anti-theist. This is Amber, a transgender woman. She's being attacked by these people.
I was pushed and shoved down into the bushes, violently accosted for walking out there, and called a traitor and screamed at just for coming out in support of free speech.
These people represent BAMN, which stands for By Any Means Necessary, which is supposed to be an activist group that, well, their full title is
Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary.
Got all that? They are really a domestic terrorist organization that has been involved in attacks on women, adolescents, old people, disabled people, immigrants, gay people, and now transgender people. They have also made attacks on people's civil liberties such as the right to peaceable assembly and freedom of speech.
We're political fucking message right here. Fuck free speech.
They have not killed anyone, at least not yet, but they are a terrorist organization by definition. They use force and or the threat of force to make other people meet their demands. That's the definition of terrorism.
Terror is what's described in U.S. Code of Laws. It's the threat or use of violence to intimidate, typically against civilians, to intimidate populations for political, ideological, and other ends.
They, especially this one, Yvette Felarca, tell blatant falsehoods about people to justify physically attacking them. Whether they are intentionally lying or just crazy or a little of both is another question. So if they are not what they say they are, what are they? Judging by their actions, they seem to want to push an extremely far-left, extremely politically correct agenda, which would include forced equality of outcome for all, totally open borders, an end to freedom of speech and other civil liberties, total censorship of any view that they disagree with, and they want to make it socially acceptable to use violence to achieve these goals.
You know, protesting against Trump's policies is one thing, but harassing his supporters and attacking his supporters is something very different, isn't it?
No, I think his supporters should be haunted every single day that he's in power.
And as we've seen in some of my videos, they are making it socially acceptable. This apparently includes specifically targeting people who belong to the marginalized groups that they claim to be fighting for, if those individuals do not unquestioningly accept their very narrow, rigid, politically correct totalitarianism. Yvette Felarca seems to have a fixation with mass militant movements. See here.
We need to make sure that we have more mass protests, more militant protests that are mass and militant.
Militant, integrated, direct action.
More militant protests.
And to do that and getting as many people as possible to take militant mass direct action.
But wait a minute, should they be mass and militant?
More mass protests, more militant protests that are mass and militant.
Are you sure?
Mass, militant.
More militant protests.
Massively mass, militant.
Mass
Militant, mass, militant, militant, mass, militant, mass, militant.
You're gonna take it away.
Mass, militant, mass, militant,
You're gonna take her away.
mass, militant. Yvette Felarca is a teacher at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, and she has led teenagers to attack people in public. See my videos, for which there are links in the description to this video. Of course, despite what these people think, no matter what your color, your sex, your gender, your sexual orientation, your national origin, your political views, or anything else, every individual deserves freedom and equality of opportunity. Not just those people who agree with BAMN. Let's watch a bit of an interview with this victim. This all took place on March 4th, 2017 at the Martin Luther King Jr. Civic Center Park in Berkeley, California, which was once the ground floor of the free speech movement, and which is now, thanks to BAMN, Antifa, and others, the igniting point of a new anti-free speech movement. For the full context and details, see my video, Fuck Free Speech, Another Berkeley Riot Against Free Speech. Here's Amber being interviewed by BuzzFeed. I'm sorry to say that their audio and video doesn't line up very well. I tried to fix it, and I did to some extent. It was very much a technical nightmare, and I could only do so much. So sorry about that, folks. But anyway, let's check this out. Here's Amber.
So what's your name?
Amber?
And Amber, you're holding a sign that says "Trans Women for Trump." Can you tell me what the president has done in his what has the president done in his first month in office that you especially agree with, disagree with? What resonates strongly with you?
First off, he said there are several jobs. He's brought several jobs back to this country. He's bringing, in my opinion, he's bringing unity. This out here doesn't bring unity. He's trying to unify, just like in his not his inauguration speech, but I forget the speech he had the other night. There's stuff in my mind.
The State of the Union kind of thing. Yeah.
First thing he starts out is giving credence to Black History Month, and then he's critics attack him for that. And he's trying to unify, but you can't unify whenever half the country's out there giving propaganda. The media keeps lying and doing all this sorts of stuff, and it's really been a problematic situation. All this division going on, and like as you see here today. People say the Trump side's the racist side and this and that. I've been here all day amongst these people. What I've got is hugs, and I appreciate what you're doing and this and that. If I don't went to the other side of this side, I would have been killed. They would have been.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, totally. The violence there. If I'd have walked up, I was already being called a traitor. Everything. I would show love on the side. So it just goes to show the Trump side's a more tolerant side. But this side is not tolerant at all.
Okay.
Things that I don't believe are American.
1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry to run away. It's a little bit of violence. Yeah, unfortunately. So I lost where my train of thought. You were talking about like you're not seeing unity.
What you were trying to do is that's what I liked about Trump, and I kind of went off. I'm just really disgusted with all of violence.
Yeah, and what brought you out to this rally today? Like something I've been asking a bunch of people is like, what is this rally is about?
I don't like this bullying going on by the left, that people can't go out and speak in peace. Every time they go out, they're claiming our side is the one inciting all the violence, yet every time I come out here, everybody's out here, they're pushing people, they're shoving people, they're trying to shut down free speech. Look at what happened here in Berkeley with Milo.
Were you at the Milo Yiannopoulos rally as well? Do you feel that like your free speech is under attack, or it's
I feel like everybody's free speech is under attack. I feel like when you can't come out into play and not feel like I had fear when I come out here today as a trans woman, I probably will be assaulted if not killed, because exactly happened when I said what happened. I was called a traitor. I was pushed and shoved down into the bushes, violently accosted for walking out there, and called a traitor and screamed at, just for coming out in support of free speech. And that's what I'm really here for.
Why do you think they're calling you a traitor?
Because they feel I've dealt with this over and over. If I'm part of the LGBT, I have to share in their ideology. I have to share in hating the other side. I cannot possibly have any conservative views. It all has to be their way or no way. Anytime I go against this narrative, which is like a zombie chant, it's always the same thing, fascist, racist, and this and that. They're taking our movement and they're destroying our movement. So what they're doing is making the other side angry at us, because every time they move, they can't even move without being told they're racist, you're doing this because of that, you're sexist, you're a transphobe. And largely, a lot of people never give me any trouble. The ones that give me the most trouble is the left. It's sad.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't cause trouble, anything like that.
And have you found a community of trans women who are also supportive of Trump?
Yes, I have.
And do you find, what are the common things among that community that trans women are?
What they're tired of being used for, it's a left's con. We're tired of being used. Okay, what's been worn out now is the black narrative. So what they're using is our narrative now, that we're an oppressed group, so now they're trying to use, everything's transphobia, everything's homosexual phobia. And what it's doing is counterproductive to our movement. It's taking out the power out of the word sexism, racism, transphobia, and people are getting tired on this. They're tired of being accused of being, I'm sexist, I'm racist, I'm this. They're tired of being accused, and it's hurting us more than anything. I'm a total advocate for trans. Obviously, you think don't want rights? I mean, obviously I would.
Right.
But it's the way this is being used, it's almost like a mindless bunch of zombies just keep chanting the same thing. Give people a chance. Even on the left, I give them a chance. Give people a chance to have a narrative, to talk to them. I was just talking to a trans man over there. We had a great conversation.
Oh, really?
We were going back and forth. He had his views, I had mine. We came together with common goals. It was pretty much the same thing. We just want a country in peace. We don't want a country in trouble. We want a country with jobs. We want things restored. He has a different way of going about it, but this is not the way to go about it. Like riots, this isn't the way. This is what the elites on top, the real racists, want us to do. They want us to sit there and fight. They love it when we're divided. That's going on, and it's really sad to see.
And can you tell me how did you feel when the president's cabinet and administration rolled back the guidance on trans students?
Okay, now here's my view on that. I'm very much for trans rights. I'm very much for trans passage. The only problem I had on that situation is that it's too expensive. We have to have some reasonability. You cannot send a little trans girl in a locker room with a bunch of other genetic girls and have genitalia of a man and walk in and expect that's going to be completely normalized. That's okay. Bathrooms, I have no issue with. If they're going to do that with bathrooms, my opinion is this. It's always been my argument. If you're going to sit there and say that trans women are going to sexually assault little girls, then you need to have regulations against heterosexual men going in with little boys, because there's more sexual assault in heterosexual men than any other group out there. And they're not putting any regulations, so to me it's nothing more than just a farce. I don't believe they have any concerns. I do not believe. It's a bunch of propaganda being stirred up to scare people, and it's probably by evangelical Christians, I would imagine.
You're saying the propaganda that led to the rollback of the guidance?
No,
or?
okay, the guidance on the thing. I think it was too expansive. And everybody says Trump has no regard towards trans rights. I don't agree with that. Trump sat there, he defended us during the election, sitting there saying you can use the bathroom. He just said he believes it's a states' right issue, but he does believe we should be able to have bathroom privileges.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So,
and do you, how should I phrase this? Do you find that there are trans women who are prominent in the media, trans women or men who represent a similar viewpoint to you, or do you feel like there are not many people who represent how you think?
Maybe Caitlyn Jenner a little bit, but not so much. I think she's too much of an establishment Republican.
Okay.
I'm more of a libertarian than a Republican, okay? I'm more of a Ron Paul supporter. But the thing is, I was not going to go for Hillary. I'm not going to go for Bernie Sanders. I don't want communism. I don't want all that sort of stuff. We've had the best system in the history of this world, regardless if we've had a history of racism and everything. Every country's had their problems. We've had the best history of the world. We need to restore, get all the corruption out of D.C. We need to get all our country restored. Quit letting corporations run our country and get it back. And I know Bernie was selling that, but communism always leads to death. Look at Communist Mao. Look at Stalin. Look at Hitler. Well, Hitler wasn't a communist, I'm sorry. But, you know what I mean.
I do. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. Is there anything you think, I've missed? Anything else important that we're talking about?
I just think we all need to step back and listen to each other, and we need to unify. We need to quit looking at differences. And what we need to do is we need to educate these people on what these conditions are. People are born with them. Instead of screaming at their racist, well, I guess this wouldn't apply to racism, but we're screaming at their fascists and their transphobes and stuff. Most people have had success with when I sit down and just explain it to them. We need to have education versus hate.
I see.
And that's on both sides.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. She's carrying a sign that says Trans Women for Trump. Thank you very much.
So there you go, folks. It is very important to note that it's not just BAMN, Antifa, and other far-left groups who seem to be specifically targeting individuals who belong to marginalized groups who do not agree with their narrow views. And watch out, folks, because we'll see more of this. I predict they'll go after Joy Villa because she is a black woman who actually likes Trump, so that's a threat to their narrative. And I predict they'll go after other people who are not white cisgender males who also do not toe their very narrow politically correct view. Oh, they'll go after these people, they'll call them house Negroes, Uncle Toms, traitors, heretics, burn the witch, and etc. Just watch it happen, folks. This is going to go mainstream. I'd like to urge open-mindedness, dialogue, intelligence, logic, peace, and love. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please click the little bell icon, otherwise you'll never know when I have a new video up. Please make sure that you get a Minds.com account. Subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. Thanks for watching. And one more thing, I'm not exactly cisgender all of the time.